Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another Kerfuffle showcase. I am delighted to have here Michael. Hello, Michael O'Brien from
Hi
Home of
there.
Mortgages. How are you today, Michael?
Very well, thank you. Very well. Feeling a bit overdressed with you there, Simon, but
Well, us prop tech dudes get away with
yeah.
it. But, that's why we've been annoying estate agents for literally years now by looking like this. Um, do you want to just give us a bit of background, Michael? Just give us a bit of background about yourself, about Home of Mortgages. Obviously, the clue's in the name there, but give us a bit of background so we know a little bit more about the business.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah. So we've been working with estate agents for quite a number of years now, over 10 years. I've been in estate agency financial services since 2003, working for independents and working for larger corporate groups.
Yeah.
And so I think I've got a good understanding of how that works. I started an estate agency myself in the credit crunch in 2008. So we've seen the market adapt and evolve over time, and we've had to evolve our business over time. So in terms of financial services, working along with estate agents, I feel we understand the market. And what we're looking to do is to provide a mortgage advice service that we feel fits the marketplace right now.
And what do you feel isn't being serviced at the moment by by the current providers? What do you feel that why are you stepping up to the mark?
I wouldn't say so much that current providers aren't servicing. I just think that there's a lot of different models out there. Estate agents are adapting their models. There are independents, corporates. You've got people looking to go on their own, offering a self-employed service, bespoke servicing. So I think what we're trying to do is just lay our cards on the table and say, this is the sort of proposition that we offer, and there are estate agents out there that are looking for the proposition that we offer that fits nicely into their business. We offer a telephone-based mortgage advice service. We've got an online platform that enables negotiators to key their leads and online and track the performance of those. And we can integrate with client on the estate agents' websites and give them a sort of seamless proposition to sort of direct traffic to. So we've got a proposition for estate agents, and we understand sort of the market that we're in. So the right agents that we work best with, look for the proposition that we offer.
And obviously the title today is earning more money from every instruction there. Just give us an idea around those services that sort of reinforce that you provide.
Yeah, certainly. So historically, agents had mortgage advisors in branch. I used to have estate agent as mortgage advisors in sort of various different estate agency branches. Then a few years ago, it transpired that the good mortgage advisors, they didn't want to rely on the peaks and troughs of estate agents doing well or not so well. So we wanted to retain these really good mortgage advisors, and because they basically add value to the estate agent's proposition. So what we did is we created an online model that enabled all the brokers to be in head office, and that's now head office and at home, and a workspace that they work well in. And effectively give the estate agents a proposition online, so they key the leads online and the advisors service those leads. What was happening previously is that little bits of paper were being sent over to the mortgage broker, or a post-it note or an email was being sent out, and there wasn't any feedback, there wasn't any sort of communication in terms of what's happening with those leads. So we aim to address that by providing a transparent service. So you send a lead over, quite often that buyer doesn't end up purchasing with that estate agency. They may be purchasing elsewhere, and that's where they're getting extra cash, if you like, because effectively it's all transparent. They know that any leads being provided, if we do the business, it stays on the same record, and it's completely transparent. We're not rekeying it onto any other system. So that's one way. The way of the future, though, if you like, is that we believe that clients are a lot more sophisticated than they ever used to be. We've got a lot more access to information. or they're being fed a lot of information, but fundamentally they really do still need and want advice. If I walk along the floor here and listen to the brokers that the conversations that they're having, there's definitely a massive need for good quality advice, and that's not going to go away, and it's not going away anytime soon. We had a lot of talk about robo advice models. And I know there was a number of companies in the FCA sandbox talking about robo advice and the effect of and the change that this is going to have on the industry. But as I said, listening to the conversations day in, day out, clients don't even know what they earn. So if they don't know what they earn, how can they key that information into a system and expect a lender to make a decision? So, and there's sort of models where they've talked about using open banking to assess income, using direct feeds from HMRC to assess income, but it's all a long way off at the moment, because quite frankly there's various different ways that you can assess a client's income. So we could use their accounts, we could use their tax calculations, they could use their contract. So you're not really going to get so robo advice. We see it as a long way off. So what we see as the way forward is provide using technology, without a doubt, using technology to enhance the client journey, to enhance the relationship, and to build on that. So we've got sort of tech in the back office that we use to enhance the client's journey, keep them informed, keep them up to date. But also we've soon to launch our new home toolkit, which estate agents can use on their website. And part of that toolkit is creating a booking tool, and it enables clients to book the type of appointment that they want at a time that suits them. So some people just want a little mortgage chat. They want 15 minutes, just a quick chat, just to have get a good understanding of exactly, are they along the right lines? They may just have a specific question. You might want to ask something about the market, and in which case they can book that in. Vast majority of people, they want to run the numbers. They really want a very good understanding, want a good idea of, is this possible? Is what I'm looking to do possible? And,
but without getting lost in the jargon, I think is the key.
Without going through the full sort of, mortgage recommendation, life insurance quotes, and et cetera, and really sort of understand exactly, as you said, like without getting lost in the jargon, So what we're able to do is provide those numbers and calculate on a high level and run the numbers for them. That's without us sending off sort of, detailed information and paperwork. We're just running the numbers. We're working out, and that's more than running an online mortgage calculator and say, oh, that's what I'm going to be able to buy. That's an advised run the numbers. So that's looking at us understanding what the market's doing right now, what's possible, and obviously the market's changing constantly. So I think that's the future of the market, if you like, is that clients are looking to take control of those conversations themselves and identify how they want to be spoken to, when they want to be spoken to, and how they want to sort of communicate. So we're just looking to sort of adapt to what we're seeing as the demand, really. And I think from an estate agent's proposition, a value added to an estate agent is that they're able to offer that service to their clients. And we're providing the technology that enables them to do that.
So you're totally embracing technology. This isn't sort of any sort of, as you said, robo advice, which I've been noting down. I'm going to overuse that for the next couple of days without really understanding it. But when the time's right, you're only going to obviously introduce that when it's actually delivering demonstrable benefits there. And how important is that element that you understand estate agency and indeed estate agents well? What advantage does that give you?
Well, first of all, I'd just like to say that I don't think I'll ever be introducing robo advice. So I'll put my hat firmly on the fact that people need to talk through options. So yeah, when I said I don't think I'll be introducing, not going to be introducing robo advice. Okay, and that's not because I don't see it as a detriment to our industry or looking at the sort of traditional estate agents versus purple bricks type model. It's not a concern of that. It's just that genuinely, I wholeheartedly believe that the clients that we speak to on a daily basis, they need to have advice, and it's a very fine line. If you've got somebody, anybody involved in that conversation in terms of the mortgages, as soon as a question's asked, so banks used to do execution only, where they say we're not going to offer you any advice, but you need to choose one of these products. As soon as one question's asked, then there's a level of advice in that process. So just wanted to sort of clear that up in terms of robo advice. It's not something that we're going to be looking to adapt, and also the FCA, I think, have sort of fallen in line with that as well. The other part to your question was around understanding estate agents and looking at what that why that's a benefit to us. I think I've run my own estate agency. I understand all of the software that the agents are using. I understand processes. I understand the difficulties that estate agents are going to face. Young negotiators or new negotiators, training, development, interrupting the process. So there's a lot to it that how do we complement those estate agents? How do we interact with those estate agents and get them involved in understanding mortgages? And I've always been of the opinion that it's got to be a conversational-led approach to selling. So how do we providing enough information to the agents to really understand the market, understand what we're able to offer? And that's a really big point, because when we looked at our ideal market is working with estate agents, 1 to 3 branches, owner-led. They normally employ experienced negotiators, or had negotiators working with them for a long time, or senior negotiators working with them a long time. And it's just that they understand financial services to a certain level. And that's not belittling anybody's knowledge. It's that the mortgage market moves at a very fast pace, and understanding sort of where we are right now is a weekly change in the environment. So, what we do is we provide that regular information, reporting on what's happening in the market, and we'll always provide a couple of sound bites, if you like, that they can use to start that mortgage conversation with their clients, with their vendors, with their landlords. We've had some fantastic deals, just reporting back to these experienced negotiators and owners on what's possible and what's available in the market, i.e., from the commercial space, commercial lending, and just interacting with their experienced landlords and discussing the sort of development finance, bridging finance. There's a whole sort of raft of finance lending against multi-unit blocks, HMOs. Once they start a conversation, you just say, "Oh, I wasn't aware that you was able to advise in that sort of area." A lot of those the multi-unit freehold block type mortgages by HMOs have all moved over from the commercial space over to the mortgage arena. So limited company and corporations, obviously not as timely as it was a few years ago, where people were really sort of looking to explore that. But the mortgage market will continue to change. There'll always be something new. There'll always be something different to talk about. Right now, a real hot topic is really understanding furlough, understanding how clients are affected, understanding what's happening now in the mortgage market, understanding how, when business owners have taken bounce back loans and CBILS loans, and how that's affected their borrowing. So there's always this, and people need that information. So I think, just to wrap that question up, I think fundamentally what I've experienced is that by having the numbers, people are able to make decisions a lot quicker.
Yeah.
So what I always say is that until you might have valued someone's property, you may have gone in and done the best valuation you've ever done, but ultimately what really gets people motivated, what really gets people figures, when they can see, yeah, this is possible because we've run the numbers. So I think what we try and do is encourage the valuers and negotiators to understand that process, and just try and communicate that as much as possible, and say, look, the mortgage market is changing. Why don't you just run the numbers and see what's possible? And you guys, they want it as well. You know, you don't want to be wasting your time with somebody who can't move, or who think they can move, or you know, or he's on furlough, and they're changing the furlough rules, you know, daily at the moment. So, you know, there's a lot to be said for just bolting on a good mortgage company, be it yourselves or any other company, be it bolting on a really good mortgage advice company to your business to help fast track decision making processes.
So just talk us through some of the ways, Michael, that, you know, agents can unlock that extra revenue using Home of Mortgages. Then, what are the different ways you can help them?
So first of all, we've got the cost of moving. As I just said there, vendors should be an easy target. I say target, should be an easy opportunity. In just purely that they've just signed a contract with you, they are looking to, they trust you. So ultimately, you want to add value to that proposition by referring them to a company that's going to give them some value, give them some more value than what you're going to offer yourself. So, you know, vendors are a very straightforward one. An untapped mine, if you like, is your landlord database. It really sort of depends on the level of communication an agent puts out there to their marketplace and how they're communicating with their marketplace. We can provide a lot of content to any agent looking to communicate, be it updates on what's happening in the landlord mortgage market, what's happening.
It's always one of the biggest challenges, isn't it? To be fair, you know, you can end up with all of these different sort of electronic direct mail systems, but ultimately you're there thinking about, well, what's the interesting content that's going to help keep them engaged.
Well, definitely, and I think it's just got to be current, hasn't it? I think that's the interesting content is what's current and what your clients are thinking about. You know, so
current and relevancy, isn't it? Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. So ultimately, we're getting a lot of information sent to us daily from a variety of different lenders and industry contacts. So, you know, we're dissecting this information, we're disseminating it through for our brokers, and ultimately it's our responsibility to keep communicating what's going on with the market to help people make decisions and make the right decisions. And you know, there's a lot of a change in the market, lots of tax legislation change that I can see coming, or majority of people can see coming. Yeah. So how is that going to affect the level of borrowing that people can take? If they talked about raising capital gains tax to the actual rate of your income tax. So, you know, is that going to see landlords start to sell now who are higher rate taxpayers or additional rate taxpayers to pay 28% rather than 40%? You know, so they're just, as I said, it's about communicating this information to at the right time to spark conversation, because ultimately what we're trying to do as business owners is to build long-term relationships. And a lot of us said the agents that we've worked really well with, these 1 to 3 branch agencies, have long-term relationships, and they have long-term relationships because they're a trusted advisor, and we sit alongside them. Yeah.
Is that your ideal demographic there? You've mentioned that a couple of times, that kind of 1 to 3 office agent is, you know, because the problem with many businesses, many suppliers to the industry is they kind of, you know, they really try to pretend they do everything just as well as, you know, one office to a corporate there. Do you feel that you're more honest in those ones that you have the best success with?
Without a doubt, you know, and it's really difficult to actually pigeonhole yourself like that, you know, oh, we can work with anyone, you know. Yeah. But what we found is when we took on agents that didn't fit that brief, what we were receiving is sort of a competition to see who could provide the most leads, and the leads coming in thick and fast, not knowing who we are, not knowing why they were speaking to us, and there was just a level of cold calling, if you like, to speak. So it wasn't right for us. It wasn't right for the customer. It didn't give the customer a good experience. It didn't give the agency a good reputation. So that's where our value proposition comes along. We see ourselves as a value proposition working with those type of agencies, because predominantly those sort of agencies have been around for a long time for a reason, or they're starting up on their own. And as most business startups, the value is at the core. We're different because we care. We're different because what we want to offer a different service to everybody else, or we want to offer a bespoke service, or we want people to like us, and we want people to like us because we do the right things. So those sort of agents that we tend to get referred from, we tend to do really good business with. We've got a lovely bunch of guys here, and the admin, we employ people to get mortgage happy. And ultimately the idea is that we try and portray that on and build long-term relationships with the clients and our introducers as well. We don't want to sort of work with somebody who's in it for a short term. So it is difficult to sort of I wouldn't say pigeonhole yourself, but just to identify the agents that you work well with, or a type of agent that you work well with, and it does limit you in a certain way, but ultimately I think it just it adds value in long term.
So you mentioned obviously it sounds a happy place when you're on board with you. What are the barriers to actually getting to that point, though? I guess is it all about compliance, or is the onboarding a relatively easy process?
Yeah, I think it's a regulated environment, and anybody that's moved from, I've taken through a few estate agents and trained them as mortgage brokers. The change of coming from estate agency to financial services, the biggest thing that they've got to get their head around is the regulation and the amount of things that you do need to do. But pleased to say for introducers joining us, there's a couple of forms that need to be completed, but ultimately it's just around getting FCA approval that you are able to refer to us. And the idea behind that is that what comes with that is that you're able to promote financial services yourself, and able to promote and host obviously our web tools on your site, etc. And it's all compliant. So
Michael, thanks very much for that. Really good to hear from you, and we'll catch up over the coming months and hear how you're getting on.
All right, lovely. All the best. Thanks very much. Take care.
Everybody. Bye bye.